All right, we're back with more of the CIA Columbia Obama Sedition and Treason trial transcript officially released. And let me state that transcript is now posted on our website at outlaw.org. There's a banner just for the transcript in the event you need to read it. I would suggest that you read it as quickly as you possibly can. Now, reading the Knoxville News judge orders veterans arrest statement. Captain Turner is online still with us, and he's got some statements, and I certainly would encourage him to make those statements because the allegations and the way this news article is written very inflammatory and anti-Lieutenant Commander Fitzpatrick. So could you chime in on that, Captain Turner?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay. I read that article when it first came out, and this is an Associated Press article.
Yes.
And as I look at it, it's just vile, the kind of things that the media is doing. I will comment on a couple of the sentences here. The third sentence in that said that Fitzpatrick claims the grand jury is unlawful and wants the president indicted as an imposter because of questions about his U.S. citizenship. That is false, and we all know it. And Fitzpatrick charged Obama with acts of treason, not questions about his citizenship. And that charge of treason has been for altering our form of government by fraud, deceit, and dissembling.
Right.
And so when the newspaper keeps repeating the same lie, you know that they're all in cahoots with this same thing. So that was a false statement. He didn't call him an imposter because of his citizenship. Although that is a factor. It also says documents show the president was born in Hawaii. I put a little, yeah, sure. What does that say about the investigative reporting for Associated Press? They must be using blind people.
Yeah, it's incredible the way the media is supporting and suborning this lie about his birth and alleging, as did with Fox News, regarding what the documents state or show about his place of birth. It's incredible that we're living in a world where this is continuing to happen, and we don't seem to have anybody within our political, if you will, legislative body that will stand up and demand that there be justice that all Americans can look at and prove whether yes or no. This is incredible that's happening this way. And now that, and I'm delighted you came. I'm reading this and I'm thinking how horrible. It was just handed to me. I didn't proofread it. I'm thinking how horrible this is. These statements are awful. They're lies, and they're inflammatory, and they're prejudicial. And so I stopped reading it. It's 2 pages, but I stopped reading in the middle of it because I'm glad you chimed in to give some clarity on this matter.
I'd like to clarify another point here. And it lets you know the depth of the conspiracy here. It says that Huff, that's Darren Huff, actually a former Desert Storm Navy man. He's in Georgia, and he faces related charges. And they say he was among a dozen armed people who gathered at the courthouse. Now, Huff was there when Commander Fitzpatrick tried to make his citizen's arrest on April 1st. Huff was there just as a cameraman. Never spoke to anybody, never did anything. But they charged him with inciting to riot. But they're also trying to infer here that he was with armed people and armed. Nobody had weapons. And nobody ever looked for any weapons when that citizen's arrest was attempted on the 1st of April. It was on the 20th of April, when they were having the hearing, that Huff, as a militia, Georgia militia member, showed up with the weapons that he's liable to carry across the border and with him. And so what the FBI, the government, under the control of Barack Hussein Obama, is trying to do is relate the weapons charges with the citizen's arrest. And so they're trying to build a story around that.
Right.
And they sneak it in this stupid little article where he said about a dozen armed people. Well, you know, that's inciting to riot is what they're doing, AP.
Yeah. Listen, Captain, I have another caller on the line. Would you hold on, please?
Yeah, please.
Let me take the other caller and see if we can advance this even further. Hello, caller.
It's me again, Dr. Manning.
It's you, Janine. All right, Janine. How are you?
Good. I'm glad he dissected, because remember I said it was bogus.
Yeah.
Okay. I just talked to Walter a couple months ago, and when I read that article, I said this is just a bunch of bogus stuff. Okay. People need to rise up in numbers. They need to call. They need to stand on the court yard with signs. Release him. You know who owns the Associated Press, Dr. Manning? It's owned by the Rothschild family. So would you expect it to be truth and honesty?
Yeah. I think that
Commander? No. It's
we are, and I would say to all Americans who feel that somehow or another this matter does not touch you, or that Lieutenant Commander Fitzpatrick is out of order, or even that he is racist, which is what a large number of people like to allege when anything is raised about the credibility of Barack Obama. I will say to you that all Americans are going to pay dearly for allowing this to continue. There's just no way injustice on this scale can happen. And when you allow people to be imprisoned, to have their door kicked in, and dragged off to prison, and then lies written about them in the Associated Press, it's going to come home to bite everybody. So I'm appealing to everyone. We need to stop this now. We need to stop it. If you're not willing to challenge Obama face to face, challenge this horrendous thing that's happening with Lieutenant Commander Fitzpatrick.
Dr. Manning, he has a golden pension, okay, with the military. Now, if this is being done at a local level, why hasn't the military called in that golden pension? If this man is not speaking the truth, if he's not rising up and he is not saying that this is a treason act, he should know. Look at all the years he was in the Navy. He's got a golden pension. Why hasn't the military removed his pension from him? The man's telling the truth. And the
I'm not sure whether or not they need to have a court proceeding to actually do that. I mean, they would have to have a hearing. And I think, Janine, a number of us, including Lieutenant Colonel Terry Lakin, we were led to think that there were Americans who were patriots who were not going to allow this to advance to the point where it's at now with Obama's eligibility. And like Lieutenant Colonel Terry Lakin, who is now being court-martialed because he stood up as well. And these are not people, just run-of-the-mill street people that are making these stands on the Constitution regarding Obama. These are decorated soldiers of our military. And we are allowing this to happen. These are the people that keep us safe at night from foreign and domestic enemies. And yet the American people are allowing this to happen. It's got to stop. It has got to stop. Now, whether or not they will snatch his golden retirement program is anybody's guess. But they certainly will do it. They can possibly do it. They
haven't. And look, they paid a visit to him, over a year ago?
I've been following. I've been talking with him for over a year now.
Yep. They knocked on his door, and C.I.A. came in and talked to him and to find out if he was a threat to Obama, and they let him go. Because the military knows they're not dumb men, okay? I have not met one lieutenant commander, colonel, nobody up in that type of echelon that's dumb, okay? They know what's going on, and they all know that we have actually excellent people standing up for this country. And now the American people need to stand, and they need to help these military men and say enough is enough. Even if they make 10 phone calls to one number and say release him. Release him. He does not belong there.
He certainly does not. He certainly does not.
Release. And American people need to take a stand now. It's getting out of control. Nobody is standing. I don't understand. It must be the water we're drinking. It must be something. Because nobody's standing. I mean, this man has gone to jail. He stood up and said this is a treason act. The man knows the Constitution. He was in the military academies. He knows the Constitution. This is treason.
Janine, I have another call on the line. Can I take the other caller?
I'll let you go. I've been burning up about this since yesterday.
Stay on the case. Continue to work. Listen, we're going to be victorious.
Well, this is all bogus stuff. It just annoys me. The American people can't see through the bogus. All the lies and manipulation. The Rothschilds own this paper. They're going to lie all they want.
Stay on the case, but let me take this other caller.
All right, have a good day.
God bless you, Janine. Hello, caller. Hello. Hello.
Dr. Manning?
Yes, sir.
This is the foreman of the jury of the trial of the century.
Hi.
Calling from New Mexico.
It's good to hear your voice. I have been praying about you, and thank you for chiming in today. Thank you. We owe you, America owes you a great debt of gratitude for what you did on that jury. You're coming. We missed you at the committee hearing, but we pray all is good. How are things out in New Mexico?
Well, they're going good. We just try to take things day by day, and of course we stay constantly in touch with what you're doing, and of course other people who are trying to pursue truth in this country. But I did want to say one thing in particular, and that is that the trial was indeed a very taxing experience. I felt like all jurors were indeed genuine, sincere, patriotic, honest, and fair individuals who rendered a decision that was based on the evidence presented in the trial, and the trial was legal and proper in every respect. I did want to respond, though, to a question that one of your earlier callers had regarding why is it that a criminal is in the White House and no one who pursues justice in our government has stood up and exposed it. And I think I have two possible reasons why, and I want to throw this to you and your audience to think about and comment on. And one of the reasons why the truth continues to be suppressed, one of the possibilities is that this nation is being held hostage with a threat against our safety and security. And we don't know what that is, but there's a threat out there that, you know, if Obama gets exposed, then something dastardly will happen.
Could you elaborate a little bit more on that? Because I know you've said that, and I'm in agreement with you, but I think you could elaborate a little bit more for our listeners on what that threat could possibly be. You don't have to be specific, but would you elaborate?
Well, obviously, he's there for a reason, and I believe that reason is to dismantle the Constitution and to remove America as the force of justice on the globe. Obviously, if America ceases to exist and liberty and so forth cannot prevail, then there'll be a vacuum on the earth, and really totalitarianism will reign supreme. There will be no opportunity left for any earthly citizen to experience true liberty like what we've experienced here in America. So if you really want to bring totalitarian world government to power, you've got to eliminate the United States first.
That's true.
And so I think Obama is a pawn in that effort to dismantle our Constitution, because really it's the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence that are standing in the way of world government. So that's the number one reason why I think that the truth can't come out, is because we're being held hostage by some potential act of terrorism or something disastrous that could happen if Obama is exposed. The second thing is I think by exposing Obama, if the truth comes out on him in the public arena, it will also expose the crimes and the lies that have been told to the American people for decades. The C.I.A., the FBI, government agencies, every administration back to John F. Kennedy has been corrupted by C.I.A. and big banks and mega corporations that really want to destroy liberty, because they don't like the fact that, you know, people can prosper under their own volition. They want everybody to be a pawn in their game. And so I think that, you know, that's it. It's
well,
got
let
to
me
be
ask
one of
you a
those
question.
two reasons.
And possibly both. But let me ask you a question, because here a number of people have come to that conclusion, and they have decided, after reviewing such a possibility, a scenario, that it would be safer for us, because if Obama is exposed, he will not go down